Hey 3D modelers, the last time we were working we created these hubs and now we're going to create some fins to fit into them. We need to take some numbers with us into this next stage. So I remember this number straight across here from the bottom of this notch to the bottom of this notch was 3 inches. Then I started making some changes on the fly and making this hub slightly bigger, so I'm not sure of the distance between the bottom of those notches on the larger hub, which allows me to show you this inspect tool. We'll have it measure it for us. And we'll click inspect, we'll enlarge it a little bit, and hover and click the bottom. I don't want a point, I want that whole line there. And I'm going to move over directly across and click that bottom line, and it measures across for me. So we have this number 5.25, and I will need to divide that in half to become the radius in just a few minutes. So with that information, we can come over here to our tree. I have saved this with the name WinFin number 10. I'm going to right click the top, new component, and name this new component fin. And this is fin 10. I happen to be working on a 10th iteration of this project. And now to make it visually more clear to us, I'm going to turn off the hubs, and I'm going, now that the fin layer is active, you see the radio button is here and this is active, I will go create sketch. Once again, we're confirming that we're on the front. I kind of anticipated that's what I want because that's where we were just doing the hubs. So I will accept that. And now we need to start by creating ourselves that safe space to work within. And the reason we draw this rectangle, the center rectangle, is we're trying to give us our sense of the amount of space that we're going to have in the laser cutter to actually cut. So the height you can see on the right where it's blue, I'm going to change the height to 10.5 inches on tab, and then the width can be 17 inches, and that should work for us. I'm going to come down here and click fit so you can see that. And we don't need these diagonals, get rid of them. And then as we've done before, we're going to just select all this, hit X, change that to construction lines. So all of this we've done is just to create for us a clear space to draw within, so we know things will fit when it comes time to cut them out. Now let's give ourselves some symmetry lines to work with. I'm hitting L for line, hovering right up there at the top. You see the blue triangle. I know I'm at the center, and I'm clicking and pulling straight down to another blue triangle. Click, so I have a vertical center line, and I'm doing the same for horizontal center line. Escape, I'm going to select both those lines and click X. So now we have some construction lines in the center that will assist us. And we need to remember when we're modeling these sort of organic fins for our modular form, we want to have the notches placed very precisely. So what we'll do next is model the notches. And this time I'm going to model it horizontally. And we know we want the thickness to be 0.125. And we want the length to be 0.5. We'll hit return. I notice, you see how this is blue? I forgot to click that off before. So these are construction lines. So I'll just quickly select them and hit X again to make them solid. Okay, and now this time before I draw my next thing, I'm going to click that off. So this time I'm going to draw a second notch. And it's going to be 0.125 thick and 0.5 deep. Great. So I have two notches. They're sort of randomly placed right now. This is just so things don't get so hairy, so visually confusing. All right, so we want to put them at a certain distance from the center radius. So the top notch, we know we want the base of it to be, and that's this edge here, we want that base to be 3 inches from there. So I am going to use D on the keyboard, I'm going to click that back end of the notch, click, I'm pulling over and I'm clicking this construction line and then I'm pulling up. And that distance, we want to be 3 divided in half, remember, because it's a radius, not a diameter. So 3 divided in half is 1.5. All right, so now that notch is placed, the bottom of that notch is placed very precisely in relation to our center axis. And we'll come down here and we'll do the same thing down here. D for diameter. Let me zoom in so I can get that back edge. Clicked and pull over. I'm going to hover over that line, click again and pull up. And this one is 5.25 divided by 2, which is 2.625. I know, crazy math. Better done on a phone. Okay, so those two are precisely placed in terms of distance from the center. Now let's think of distance from the top. Now if I come back over here and remind you of this design, I measured this lighting device from the top here down to where it fits there. It looked nice if my forms were 2 inches from the plate. So measuring on your actual light device will help you. So I'm going to use D again, and this time I want the notch from here up to here. I want that to be 2 inches. There. So that's precisely placed. Now the next question is how far down, how far down do I want this to be? And so I literally had placed a ruler along this, found my 2 inches there, and I judged that I needed this to be at about 7 inches here. This is going to be entirely an aesthetic choice. It's up to you. But that's what I'm going to do for this design. So I'm going to go D for dimension, the top of this notch, measured up to there. I'm clicking and pulling away, and that should be 7. All right. So you can see how the center axis has allowed us, and that top edge has allowed us to place our notches exactly where we want them to be. Now we're going to move in to our modeling of our organic forms, but I think just to keep these videos short, I'm going to cut this one here and I'll meet you in the next video.